Starring in the most ambitious film trilogy of all time certainly changes a career, but they've still gotta work. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at the Lord of the Rings cast, Where Are They Now? Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at 10 actors from the Lord of the Rings trilogy and seeing what they've been up to in recent years. Sean Bean. One does not simply see Sean Bean and expect him to live. That was the case with Boromir, and it was certainly the case with Ned Stark. While Ned was a relatively small role in the grand scheme of things, he is perhaps the most important character of Game of Thrones, both in terms of plot progression and cultural awareness. And Sean has certainly stayed busy since his time on HBO. He's appeared in movies like Pixels and The Martian, recent television shows like The Oath and The Frankenstein Chronicles, and even the video games Civilization VI and Hitman 2. In 2019, he'll appear in a BBC war drama miniseries titled World on Fire.
I never expected to be like this. They keep trying to kill me, you know?
Hugo Weaving. Hugo Weaving can proudly declare his involvement in two of the most ambitious film trilogies of all time, The Matrix and The Lord of the Rings.
It must be taken deep into Mordor and cast back into the fiery chasm from whence it came.
He's continued his work in mega blockbuster franchises, reprising his role as Elrond for the Hobbit trilogy, voicing Megatron in the Transformers series, and starring as Red Skull in Captain America.
If they cut off one head, two more shall take its place. Hail Hydra.
Luckily, he still finds time for some more serious work, and he earned critical acclaim and various awards for his roles in The Dressmaker and Hacksaw Ridge. In 2018, Hugo starred as Thaddeus Valentine in Mortal Engines, and David Melrose in the Showtime drama Patrick Melrose, where he played the father of fellow MCU buddy Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, isn't that just adorable?
You didn't want to go, did you?
Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett is one of the highest paid actresses in the world, and it's easy to see why. Since The Lord of the Rings, Kate has won 2 Academy Awards, 3 BAFTAs, and 3 Golden Globes, not to mention a place on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She earned these awards for her work in The Aviator, I'm Not There, and Blue Jasmine, the latter of which is her most acclaimed piece of work to date.
Goodness, you are a suspicious one. Just relax.
However, Kate isn't above some good blockbustery fun, as evidenced by her recent roles in Cinderella, Ocean's 8, and Thor Ragnarok.
Darling, you have no idea what's possible.
In 2019, she voiced Volka in How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, and starred in Richard Linklater's comedy mystery, Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Ponies are cute and maybe not as much trouble as we thought.
Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd. We could split these two up, but we could also keep them together. And let's be honest, that's how they're meant to be. Billy Boyd has remained relatively quiet since playing Pippin, making quick one-episode appearances on various TV shows and starring in small independent movies.
Is that your rubber ducky?
Meanwhile, Dom is kept pretty busy, mostly by producing and starring in his own nature documentary series called Wild Things with Dominic Monaghan.
Even with luck on my side, it's still gonna be like looking for a rather large needle in an even bigger haystack.
He's also been cast in an undisclosed role in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, so we guess he's back to the blockbusters. And we are happy to report that Billy and Dom remain close friends and continue to see each other on a regular basis. We know that's what you really care about.
Supposed to stick it in the ground.
It is in the ground.
Outside.
That was your idea.
Orlando Bloom. Orlando Bloom took his Lord of the Rings fame and ran with it, becoming one of the leading faces of epic historical drama and fantasy.
That still only counts as one.
He starred in epic movies like Kingdom of Heaven, Troy, and the Pirates of the Caribbean series before sort of just disappearing. He didn't re-emerge into the mainstream until 2013, when he reprised his role as Legolas for the Hobbit trilogy. In 2019, he'll star in a fantasy series on Amazon Video called Carnival Row alongside Cara Delevingne. But perhaps his biggest accomplishment is landing Katy Perry. Despite being on and off since 2016, Katy confirmed their engagement in February 2019. Meanwhile, his on-screen pal Gimli, also known as John Rhys-Davies, recently provided the voice of the Brine King in Aquaman.
Death to the Atlantean! Fight this!
Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis is the undisputed king of motion capture.
Viggo promised!
Not only did he basically originate the concept with Gollum, he continued to act as some of the most iconic motion captured characters, including King Kong, Caesar, and Snoke.
Soon they will all be gone. For you, all is lost.
And to the delight of absolutely everyone, Serkis has broken out as a traditional actor as well, thanks to his role in the MCU as Ulysses Klaue.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Serkis has also started dabbling behind the scenes, as he was a producer for Netflix's The Ritual, a second unit director on the Hobbit trilogy, the motion capture consultant for Godzilla, and the director of Netflix's Mowgli: Legend of the Jungle. The man is basically taking over Hollywood at this point. Viggo Mortensen. Aside from The Lord of the Rings, Viggo Mortensen isn't really one for Hollywood blockbusters. He's mostly stuck to smaller, more prestigious films, and has worked with David Cronenberg on 3 movies, all of which have earned him critical acclaim.
Nice bag.
And speaking of critical acclaim, Viggo has since been nominated for 3 Academy Awards for his work in Eastern Promises, Captain Fantastic, and Green Book, although he has unfortunately failed to win.
Anyway, we could maybe hit the road early next morning so we'd be home in time for Christmas Eve.
We'll see.
In 2019, he began shooting his writing and directorial debut, a drama film called Falling starring himself and Lance Henriksen. It seems like Viggo is much like Aragorn, quiet, introspective, and poetic. Talk about perfect casting.
The same blood flows in my veins. Same weakness.
Sean Astin. Everyone give it up for the real hero. Like Orlando Bloom, Sean Astin kind of disappeared from the spotlight around 2006. After The Lord of the Rings, Sean became Adam Sandler's buddy and starred alongside him in 50 First Dates and Click.
What's going on? Well, Don and I were gonna get a cup of hot chocolate. You want us to bring you one?
And while he continued acting in various productions, he didn't land another major role until 2012, when he voiced Raphael in Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, Donnie. Put down the staff and no one gets hurt.
Since then, we've enjoyed a bit of a Sean-essence, as he starred in both The Strain and Season 2 of Stranger Things. In 2019, he starred in the Netflix sitcom No Good Nick, and appeared in 1 episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It seems like he's returning to his comedic roots, and we have no problem with that.
Could you maybe dumb it down a bit for my friends here?
They're almost through our defenses. If we can't stop them, they'll be inside of our server in 19 minutes.
Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen has perhaps the most diverse filmography of all time, and he is still going strong.
You shall not pass!
Since The Lord of the Rings, Ian has concluded his time in the X-Men series, although he reprised his role as Gandalf for the Hobbit trilogy, despite being in his 70s. He's done theater and Shakespeare, and he recently garnered acclaim for his role as King Lear. He's done small dramas like Mr. Holmes, and he's done children's fantasy, playing Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast.
Master, I just want to assure you that I had no part in this hopeless plan, preparing a dinner.
In 2019, he'll play Gus in the film adaptation of Cats, alongside an A-list cast that includes Idris Elba and Taylor Swift.
What are you doing, Freddy? And where did you get that outfit? It's from when I was in Cats.
The man does it all, and he never stops. He's a legend.
Oh, it's not so surprising, really. Mankind has always feared what it doesn't understand.
Elijah Wood. And what of Mr. Frodo himself? While Frodo disappeared to the Undying Lands, Elijah avoided a possible typecast by doing some surprisingly eccentric work. While he's done a few mainstream movies like Happy Feet, he's mostly stuck to unusual television. From 2011 to 2014, he starred in Wilfred, a show about a man who sees his neighbor's dog as a human in a dog costume.
Ryan, is it?
Yeah.
Got any DVDs?
Few.
I like Matt Damon.
And he recently concluded Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, a weird action comedy sci-fi hybrid about a psychic detective who solves supernatural mysteries.
What the hell, man? You, what the hell? No, me, what the hell? How did you get in here?
It's not all movies and TV, however. Elijah also co-founded a production company called Spectre Vision and produced the outrageous Mandy. It's all pretty out there stuff for the protagonist of the most ambitious film trilogy of all time.
Here at the end of all things.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.